Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for our eoLIFE Hub Thursday night continuing education class. I am excited to be with you tonight. My name is Stacy Cahill, and I get to be your host this evening. And tonight we're going to talk about seasonal threats and essential oils. Now, just to lay the groundwork, we're talking in code because we all know that there are things that come around and there are things that affect your body, often seasonally. But we are not going to play in a world where we talk about names of diseases or how that works. We're going to talk about how the body can support us and how we can work in a structure function way to support our bodies through all of these things. So if I'm talking tonight and you think it sounds a little weird, just know that we are working with doTERRA to make sure that we are teaching people and educating people about how they can support their bodies naturally in a way that is all good. So we're talking about seasonal threats. We're talking about what happens. Because have you ever been in a situation where you go outside and all of a sudden your eyes are itchy or your skin gets little rashes or your nose is going crazy? We all have experienced different types of symptoms and different types of things that happen when the unknown comes in contact with our body, and our bodies are just not quite sure how to respond to that, what to do, what's good, what's a threat, what's being figured out. So we're going to kind of break this down tonight and talk about different ways to support our bodies. And the first thing that we're going to do before we even go into the basics is give you a solution, because the reality is there are so many oils that we're going to talk about tonight that I can't waste a single second not talking about a few of them. And the first thing, if you get nothing else out of tonight's class, if you don't think about another oil, when we are talking about seasonal threats, when we're talking about all of these different things that your body is combating, start with Tri-Ease. Start with the magic combination of lemon, lavender, and peppermint. These three oils together are what makes up the Tri-Ease soft gels. It's also what can be used in a roller bottle, in a combination that you make yourself, in a shot glass with a little bit of water. We'll talk about all of that. But I want to let you know right now, before we go any further, this is your magic ticket. Either the Tri-Ease soft gels or the lemon, lavender, and peppermint combination is going to be your first line of defense, because this is a powerhouse trio that is there for great protection for your body. Now, when we look at some of the seasonal threats, some of them are natural things like different flowers, different trees. Maybe you have dust in your home, or you have, mold or mildew or something that creeps in at different times of the year. Sometimes these threats come in the way of foods that you've eaten or products that have been on your skin. And we're going to kind of talk about how it all works. Now, the bottom line is, no matter which one of these it is, or whichever area your body is affected, we're going to remember that the body works as a whole. So it takes all of these things and it's basically putting your body into a high alert system, saying, warning, warning, danger. Something has come into my atmosphere that I don't like, or that I don't know how to respond to, or it just makes me uncomfortable. So no matter what way it is, we want to know that we can combat it naturally. Now, of course, there are times and places where those threats are severe and you need to go with whatever has been recommended to you by the professionals. This is not a time to play with that and second guess it, but there are a lot of solutions that we have, and we're going to start breaking them down. When we're talking about using these oils, first and foremost, there's three really cool ways that you can use them. You can use them topically by just simply applying them to your chest, especially when we're talking about seasonal threats. Your chest is a great place to put the oils because you're breathing them in and you're using them topically. We can also use the oils aromatically. And aromatically is when we either put a drop in the palm of our hand and we smell and we inhale deeply and we get to just feel all that goodness go through our body, or we're going to put the oils internally. And that might be something like using them in a soft gel like that Tri-Ease I mentioned. It might be using them in a shot glass combination with a little bit of water and a couple of essential oils. Now, not all oils are good to be used internally, but doTERRA makes it really, really simple to know which ones you can, because there's a food safe label on the ones that you can take internally, and there is not one of those on the ones you don't take internally. So when in doubt, just look at your bottle. It will tell you if it is one that you can use internally or not. So when we're using these oils, first and foremost, I want you guys to remember that a little bit goes a long way. You don't need to have a ton of oil to see a difference. In fact, sometimes just a little bit, doing that consistently might be the key. Now, when we're talking about all of this, I have to tell you a story that always comes to mind because it's my favorite example of the power of the lemon, lavender, and peppermint. And my daughter, as many of you know, has had severe respiratory issues since she was a small child. She had a lot of things that she could not process. Her body automatically would start shutting down if she didn't have the support that she needed in her respiratory system. And so she couldn't breathe. We were out at a friend's barn to see a new foal. It was a baby horse. And if you've been around little girls, you know that keeping them away from horses can be very difficult, let alone a brand new 2-day-old baby foal. So we went out to the barn, we saw the baby, and then right after that, I had a meeting that I was going to. And in the car from the barn to the meeting, my daughter started wheezing. And it's a sound that I was very familiar with. So as I'm driving, I hand her back the breathe oil and she puts that on, and she's still wheezing. And I kind of do that mom check in, and I'm looking at her. I'm like, are you turning blue? You know, can you get through this? Can we make it to the appointment? Do we need to stop and do something on the side of the road right now? Or do I need to be calling an ambulance or going to the hospital? Because those are very real situations for that point in her life. Well, she was doing okay, and she assured me that she would be fine. So we continued to where I had my appointment. And when we got there, luckily it was someone I knew well, and someone who was dipping their toes in the essential oils a little bit, just curious about what they were, but hadn't really jumped in. And I walked into his office and I was like, excuse me, I know we have an appointment. My daughter is having some kind of a reaction to being at the barn, and I need 5 minutes to take care of her, and then I'm all yours. And of course, you know, he was like, no problem, whatever. And I grabbed a glass from his water dispenser, grabbed a glass, grabbed some water. I put 1 drop each, lemon, lavender, peppermint, and melaleuca in there at the time. Now we call it tea tree. It's the same oil. Put 1 drop of each in, probably half an ounce of water, mixed it up, and my daughter chugged it. At the time, she was, I think, 5 years old. So she was pretty young, but she knew that, as harsh as it is, I mean, adults have a hard time with a drop of peppermint, but my 5-year-old knew that this was going to help. So she trusted me. She did her shot. She swished, swallowed the oil with the water, and literally within 2 minutes, the child who was wheezing, who you could see her air, just her chest concaving, you know, it was on that brink of not a good situation. And she was able to try these oils. Within 2 minutes, her system was calming down. And I knew that we would be able to go on with the appointment. She sat beside me. By the time we left an hour later, you would never have known that she had this threat come against her body that her body didn't know what to do with. This was simply using essential oils in small amounts consistently over about an hour. And by consistently, for that situation, it meant that she probably put an oil on or used, we had a lemon, lavender, peppermint roller bottle. So after she did the shot, she used the breathe oil, and then she used the lemon, lavender, peppermint on her chest probably about every 10-15 minutes. So maybe a total of 4 or 5 different types of oil applications throughout the course of about an hour and a half. And she was good as new. By the time we got home, she was ready to go run around and play with her friends outside. So when you're facing these things, first of all, we're going to talk about some specific oils that help with some specific, I can't even talk tonight, responses from your body. But I want you guys to remember that these are interchangeable and there's no magic oil. There's not just one that's going to work, because what works for one body may or may not be the go-to oil for the next person. So here are some suggestions that are the most commonly used oils to help with this. When you are out, maybe in nature, you're going on a hike, you're camping, and you have this stuffy head thing going on, or likewise, you feel like your nose is trying to run away with you. The top oils that I would recommend are Breathe. Now, Breathe oil in this scenario, I would use aromatically. And often when I'm outdoors like that, I don't have a little portable diffuser that I'm carrying around. So I will quite simply take my bottle of Breathe oil and I will become the diffuser. I put 1 drop or 2 if it comes out fast, I guess, in the palm of my hand, rub my hands together and inhale. Just taking a couple slow, deep breaths of that Breathe oil can help calm your system down, open up your airways, and give you a chance to be able to get on to the rest of your day. Now, if that's not quite cutting it, Digest Zen. Now, we all think of Digest Zen as the perfect oil for an upset tummy or any digestive discomfort. But let me tell you, Digest Zen is an amazing oil to relieve that pressure in your head. Putting it on your sinuses, so in your forehead, on your cheeks. Sometimes I'll do it down my ears, and it just helps everything to loosen up and start draining. Now, Digest Zen does have some oils in it that are very unpleasant close to your eyes, so I wouldn't go super close. And if you go on the top, make sure you're just like wiping the top of the bottle and applying it, not pouring a whole drop, because if you sweat and it drips in your eye, it's not going to be very comfortable. Lemon oil is another great one. And this one you could either use topically. It is photosensitive, so you don't want to use it if you're out in the sunshine, like on your face or something. But you could use it topically to help dry up the stuffiness. Or you could just add it to some hot water and the steam will help, as well as sipping that and drinking that. And of course, using it just aromatically by putting a drop in the palm of your hand and breathing it in. Lemon can be used in all of those ways. And with the tea tree or the peppermint, these are all 3 great oils. And eucalyptus, of course, is another great one to open up things and get things moving. So those are my top suggestions for the stuffy head or the runny nose when you have seasonal threats. Now, here's another common occurrence, is these really unhappy eyes. Well, first of all, please, please, please remember, you never, ever, ever, ever put essential oils directly in your eyes. It is not a pleasant thing. If for some reason an oil gets in your eye, use your fractionated coconut oil. Yes, the liquid coconut oil, and just put a drop in your eye and it'll help wipe it out. But we never want to put oils intentionally in our eyes. But there are many oils that you can use when your eyes are just irritated from those seasonal threats. And what I would do is take the oil, and in this case, lavender tends to be my go-to because it's not as intense maybe as peppermint. And I just take it and literally on the bone above my eye and the bone below my eye in a big circle like that, on both eyes, and it will help to relieve some of that discomfort. Lavender, again, is my go-to for that. You could use that lemon lavender peppermint roller bottle, but if you're using a roller bottle around your eyes, I would apply it to your fingertip and then put it on so you don't accidentally have anything drip in your eyes. And the other oil that I have done to soothe those eyes is rose oil. Again, rose touch, put it on your fingertip first and on those bones around your eyes. We want to just make sure that everybody knows, I want to make sure that Breathe line is your rescue. I find this to be one of the best support lines that doTERRA has in terms of seasonal threats. And it does come in a couple different forms. We have the Breathe oil that we've already talked about. There's also the Breathe Vapor Stick. And this is a stick that has a solid base. So it's a great one to throw in your backpack or in your purse when you're running around. And then you can apply that right onto the chest, or you could put it onto your feet if your feet are easy to get to. And that will help to absorb into your body better. We also have the Breathe Respiratory Drops, which are a great combination of oils that are good to help soothe your airways and open those up. So I highly recommend the Breathe line to be a combat first line of defense for those respiratory and seasonal threats. Especially when those seasonal threats decide to attack those airways. Now, this is a whole other thing. Most of you know I have a huge passion for this topic and talk about respiratory system all the time. That's what brought me into doTERRA, was being able to help my daughter who needed that support. But that's a whole other class just on respiratory support that you can catch on our eoLIFE Hub YouTube channel. It's eoLIFE Education on YouTube, and you can check the Breathe Easy class. But if your seasonal threats are showing themselves in your body by having a hard time getting enough air, we want to look at some of the different things happening within the body. First of all, that often is just opening up the airways. So again, that Breathe oil that I keep talking about. Using cardamom can be an amazing support. It helps open up the airways, and it helps to relax the muscles that are constricting around your airways. Frankincense is another great one because it helps to bring down that occasional inflammation that makes your airways tight or doesn't allow as much air to get through. Lime oil, again, is another one that helps with like the degunking. It's degreasing your body. So if there's extra mucus or there's buildup going on in your airways, the lime oil will help to push that out and move that along. Marjoram is a great oil because it helps with the muscles. It helps to relax muscles and the constriction that happens when your body is trying to combat something. And then Roman chamomile would be the last one that I put on there because it's soothing and calming and can just kind of be like a warm blanket wrapped around, And all of these for airway support, I would apply to the chest. Now, here's another tip that I have learned. First of all, you can apply it to your chest in the front because it does help you to calm and relax and get the lungs from the front. And it puts you close to your nose, so you're breathing them in and getting the aromatic use. But also, if you are able to apply these oils to the back, your upper back, especially ladies, most of our lungs are closer to our back than to our chest. So apply it to your upper back and you'll get some added relief and benefits from that. Now, we can't talk about seasonal threats without talking about a solid foundation, because so often we think that these things that are coming along and just bug us, and they only bug us for a month or two or a few months out of the year, and it's just the way life is and there's nothing we can do, right? Wrong. When you support your body foundationally, when you start from the inside, you give your body a chance, and your immune system the chance to be able to combat these things before they start irritating your body and your body systems. So for foundational support, some of my favorite products, first and foremost, is the Lifelong Vitality Pack. This is doTERRA's supplement line, and in there's the essential fatty acids in the Z Omega. There's your vitamins and minerals in the Microplex VMZ, and there is your cellular support in the Alpha CRS. These different supplements in this trio pack not only help to bring your body back to a stable place, but if you have been experiencing occasional inflammation in your body, or your system has been operating out of balance, this will help to give you back that balance, both physically, but also balancing between your body systems. So something that once may have caused a huge trigger in you is now just something that your body is equipped and able to handle. Once you've got those supplements on board and you have a solid foundation there, then looking at some gut health. Your immune system is so much dictated by what is happening in your gut. So we want to have healthy, happy guts. And to do that, it's things like the Terrazyme, our digestive enzymes that help to break down your food and get all of the nutrients you can from it, as well as flush out what you don't need. the probiotics in the PB Assist to be able to give both the pre and probiotics for your stomach and your intestines to get the good bacteria that it needs to boost your immune system and to operate as it should. We also have the Zendocrine products, which are a soft gel that is an oil blend. And it also comes in an oil itself or the Zendocrine complex. Those three products work together. The soft gels and the oil are the same. The complex is a little bit different, but they all work to support your kidneys and liver and to detox your body and keep those chimneys open. Now, when we're talking about seasonal threats, if we think about what body systems are being affected, it's often our airways and it's our skin. It's these exit points that things are trying to get out of our body. And Zendocrine is a great support to help you foundationally be able to keep those things open. So when a seasonal threat comes along and your body's trying to process it and it doesn't know where to send it, whichever way it tries to get out is open and clear and your body can get rid of it faster. And then of course we have the DDR Prime, which is the essential oil blend that is also available in a soft gel that just really helps to support your DNA, helps to support at a cellular level, all of that amazing part of your body that can be so functional, and when it's working optimally gives you your armor against any other threats that come along. So start with a solid foundation, and some of these other threats that come along aren't going to be quite so difficult. For example, when you're having those itchy, uncomfortable skin, if you're using those Zendocrine products that I just talked about, it helps to open the airways. It helps to open the kidney, liver, and skin and make everything be able to work a little bit better for optimal elimination. And that means that it doesn't get trapped on your skin. Oftentimes when we have those irritations on our skin, we're just trying to push something out. Our skin is the largest organ of our body, right? So we want to make sure that we're protecting it. Now, not always, but often, when we have skin things, using the oils topically is going to be the most effective. Some of my favorite oils to use topically to help with skin discomfort would be the rose oil. You can do this either in the Rose Touch like this and just apply it directly onto your skin. You could mix the Rose Touch even more diluted with a little bit of coconut oil or lotion or your favorite carrier oil to soothe that skin. Lavender is another great one, calming and soothing. Or heliochrysum, which is a great oil to really help to restore your body. And then arborvitae and frankincense. One of the things that I like to keep in mind when I'm trying to decide which oils to use, because there's a whole lot more that I could add to this list. But if you think about the oils and what plant they came from, often it's a clue to how you could use the oils. You'll notice arborvitae and frankincense are both tree oils. I would add to this list cedarwood, because cedarwood is also very good for soothing the skin. And those three have bark, right? Trees have bark, and using the essential oil from a tree is like helping the outside of your body. Like your skin is your bark. Now, of course, we also know that frankincense can be used internally. It can be used throughout your body. So don't limit what the oils can do by what plant they came from, but do use that as a clue to how to get familiar with your oils. And then the last oil that I put on here to help with skin is the Clear Skin, or the HD Clear. This is a combination of oils that doTERRA's put together, and it's generally thought of for acne prone skin in our skincare line. However, depending on how your skin is reacting to the seasonal threats, Clear Skin can be really calming and soothing. Now, before you do any of these oils directly onto irritated skin, make sure you remember to do a test patch first, because sometimes irritated skin does not want to be touched by anything, in which case I would use these exact same oils, but maybe put them on the bottom of your feet or put them on an opposing limb. It's called mirroring. So you would like mirror your body. If it's on the left side, maybe put it on the right, put the oil on the right side, or vice versa. And your body will know how to use those oils to get the relief and soothe where you need to do that. We have a whole kit just for seasonal threats. Like I said, we could talk about so many different oils on so many different ways, very, very specifically. But one of the things that is going to be the most beneficial for the most people is this kit right here. It has those Breathe products I was talking about, but it also includes lavender and tea tree oil. These are 2 of the 4 that we talked about with that lemon, lavender, peppermint right here in this kit. It has the combination of lemon, lavender, peppermint in Tri-Ease, as well as your probiotics with the PB Assist. This is only available for loyalty reward kits. That means that for all of us wholesale customers that are getting oils at a discount, if you have decided to opt into the loyalty rewards program, this kit is available for you in the back office for $135. If you are a real retail customer or you're just checking oils out for the first time, you can buy all of these products individually, so don't worry, you're not missing out. But if you wanted to get them as a promotion, it just is getting that wholesale account, which is $35 for the year. And then you get your wholesale pricing, you have access to the loyalty reward kit. So talk to the person who invited you or shared this video with you. Reach out to your doTERRA expert and they'll be able to help you figure out which way of getting your oils is the best. And again, that Tri-Ease, a little tip that I like to add, it is designed as a soft gel to be taken internally, but inside that soft gel is lemon, lavender, peppermint. So if in a pinch you need those 3 oils topically, you can always take the Tri-Ease and prick the top of it and squeeze the oil out. I've done that on numerous occasions when I couldn't carry everything around. I found it was easiest just to take the Tri-Ease with me. And if I needed something topically, I could pop one of those open a lot faster and a lot easier than I did at that original story, being able to make a shot glass with the 4 different oils and get the relief. And fantastic. However you could do it, you can do it. But when I'm on the go, I don't always have a bag big enough to take all of the oils that I want. So remember that seasonal threat kit is available.